Deputy Ministers, Excellency Ambassador of Russia to Sierra Leone and Guinea, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As I listen to the history of this ground, which I was informed about also a couple of years ago when we started this project, about its significance in West Africa as the house for a number of data on marine life and flora and fauna in the west coast of Africa. The British had located it here. So that history reminded me of something else. Between 1991 and 1992, there was a documentary on Sierra Leone called The Trade Slaves. Some of you may have forgotten. It was a BBC documentary because that was the first time we were ranked the poorest country in the world. For me, it always resonates because I know shortly after that we had our civil war. But they called it trade slaves, and that made many of us angry at that time in the diaspora, but it was deliberate. They call it trade slaves because at that time Sierra Leone was trading significantly for the size of our population in minerals, agriculture, but the most part they documented was also fishing. They estimated at that time, go back and look at the archives, it's not my documentary, it's a BBC documentary. The question was, how can a country this small, with all the natural wealth that is leaving, they're trading, particularly in marine products, how can they be the poorest in the world? Because it was the first time. And so they interviewed, they went to the mining companies here, they went to the fishing sector, they looked at all, and one of the data they reported at that time was that Sierra Leone fish and marine products of origin Sierra Leone was over $200 million. But the country was earning probably less than 20. For me, it struck me. It was not a long time after that I came here as minister, and some others told me as well, you're chasing diamonds, but this is your real wealth, because it's renewable. But also at all that period, illegal fishing was heavy here. Not only illegal fishing, those that were illegally here were also killing the marine resources. They were fishing the baby fish, they had nets and methodology sonar systems that were all against international standards. It is no surprise, therefore, why I believe this is a sector we must support. But to support it, you need the technical expertise. The British located a center here that served West Africa. Unfortunately, our own people burnt it down. I'm very pleased on behalf of UNIDO, as a Sierra Leonean, to be back here with my staff, with a partner like Russia, to say we build an institution again. This institution is about an important message. It is about value addition. I have been to factories, fishing factories in Senegal, in Ghana, and in Cote d'Ivoire. Particularly the one in Ghana, I was impressed in Tema to see them canning tuna to ship off to Europe and to the United States. Those are tuna products I used to buy in the supermarket. And it's always bothered me, how come we cannot do it? I have been to private sector, small-scale fishing companies in Vietnam and in other places. If you can't add value here, you can't process, you can't package and ship, you lose. So for me, this institution is to begin to put that basis back, that we can add value to this resource. And guess what? In most of those companies I visit, the packages are women. So women do the sorting, they do the packaging. So you can imagine, those of you who care about gender empowerment. But for the people of this country, to create jobs, but also for our own fishing needs, and also to ensure that illegal poaching is not destroying our ecosystem. Illegal fishing, it's an issue we're going to deal with in June in Rio. So I tell you, one of the issues, one of the topics, 7 pillars of the Rio Summit is on oceans, overfishing and destruction of the blue economy. It is serious. This blue water is supposed to balance the ecosystem, including ensure that we have the right climate all over the world. In our case in Sierra Leone, it's one of our lifeblood, and it can do a lot to help the country. But you need knowledge, you need education from the basics, and I thank the industry guy for telling us expand the curriculum. But this is not for UNIDO. Our job as a catalytic agency is to choose projects that are difficult. I know we were rated by some agencies that we should they want to see value for money tomorrow morning. If you're in development and building institutions, it takes time. Quick fixes do not change countries. You gotta have a consistent process of building capacity, diversification, then the countries will grow. Here we need knowledge systems to create a fishing industry. Yes, we have artisanal fishing. That has its limits. We're talking about job creation, wealth creation, and protecting our environment. So we're very pleased as UNIDO to be here. We're very pleased to have a partner, but for the government, you know, no agency will change your country. It is the country that industrializes itself. We do catalytic. We've shown you that we can do this building. See the map there. I hope you leave this for posterity. This is just the beginning. As the professor said, what the British built and we burnt, we can rebuild and better. And so I'm very pleased that my brother Richard is here, and also Soko. Again, we showed the connection. I didn't even know, Mr. Minister, that fisheries used to be in trade industry. We're not asking for a margin. We're just asking for cooperation. Because I know sometimes in government there is turf. But if you want to make this a real industry, there has to be cooperation with the Ministry of Trade and Industry. We have a second project we'll be launching just next door that is on quality control, standards. This brings another story. For 20 years, we've been banned from fishing, from exporting. The Leonean fish, we were told, does not meet international standards. However, the poachers come here, they poach the same fish, and they export for over 2 decades. Is that fair? I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is. It is not acceptable that our country cannot meet international safety standards. So again, with the Minister of Trade and Industry, we will open that lab. It's about integration. If we have the skills, we can add value and we can enter markets. But it is improper that if our own fish with origin Sierra Leone is banned, that poachers come and take the same fish, transship. We lose double. With that resources and the mining and minerals we have, we will be a donor probably in 10 years, I hope, that we become a donor. So for me, finally, this project has to do with natural resource management, diversification strategy, and adding value to our natural resources. We've chosen one. You need institutions. You see the linkage with universities, where they're emphasizing knowledge. To develop and grow, you need knowledge systems. This ad hoc in Sierra Leone, we say common sense. Common sense get limits. Common sense, they make you poor. If you want gentry, use knowledge, good management, and technology. Thank you very much.